Hey everyone, welcome back. In today's Procreate tutorial, we're diving into the charming world of whimsical or naive style illustration. However, we're giving it that modern touch. We'll be creating a gorgeous vase filled with colourful patterned leaves. But here's the twist. We're going to explore how adding texture can completely transform your artwork in just a few steps. You'll also see how using bold and striking colours can enhance your artwork. I'll guide you through every stage of this vibrant and playful project. Whether you're a beginner or looking to level up your digital art, this is the perfect place to start. So grab your iPad, open Procreate, and let's bring this masterpiece to life. I've included a free download of the sketch and colour palette to help you get started right away. You'll find links in the description below. There you will also find information on which brushes I have used. However, please feel free to use what you have. We'll start by setting up our canvas with these dimensions and colour profile. I already have my sketch in here. So what we'll do is just select the N here, select multiply, take the opacity down to around 40 or so %. And let's now select the background colour. And from the palette, we'll select the first blue here. So that's a lovely blue for our background. Now let's create two new layers. Select both layers, group, rename, leaves. Select the bottom layer. For this job, we're going to use the sleek marker, size 14. The colour that we'll be using is this colour, fourth from the left at the top, and we're just going to create some outlines and then fill them in with colour. Now I have gone over the sketch here just to the left of each half of the leaf, just because later on we will fill these halves of the leaves in a colour and place it on top. So let's fill these in with colour. Now let's select this layer here. For this job, we're going to select this green here. And before we continue, we're just going to close this group. We're going to grab the sketch layer and just pop it on top so we can see what we're doing. Let's go back to this group, select this layer here, and let's create some outlines and then fill them in with colour. Let's fill them in with colour. And here something has happened. I've lost the line over here, so just quickly replace that line here and fill that in with colour as well. Now let's create a layer on top. We're going to use the same colour. But for this job, we're going to use the rugged marker at around 17%, and we're going to draw the stalks. We'll just turn the sketch off, just so you can see the nice effect of this brush here. For the next job, we're going to use the raw pen at around size 60 or thereabouts. We're going to be working on the vase. So just close this group. We'll create two new layers. Group these. Rename. Vase. Select the bottom layer. The colour that we'll be using is this colour here, fourth from the right. Let's turn the sketch layer back on so we can use that as a guide. And we're just going to draw an outline of the vase. And fill that in with colour. Next, we'll be using the same brush. We'll just select this colour next to it here. Select the top layer here in the vase group. And we'll just go a little bit down in size for this job and make an outline like so. Fill that in with colour. Let's momentarily turn the sketch off just so you can see what it's looking like. Now we will close this group and select the leaves group and just pop that on top. Open the group. Let's just select this layer here. We use the eraser tool. Slick marker is fine for the eraser tool. And we'll just erase this back a little here, like so. Next, we're going to add a groovy pattern to the vase. For this job, we'll be using the gritty crayon, size 15, or thereabouts. The colour that we'll be using is this colour here. I'm going to close this group, go to the vase group, create a new layer on top, and with this brush we're just going to use it on an angle, on a slight angle. It's going to give us a nice kind of textured feel to it, like so. Now I am going just over the vase intentionally, just to add a little bit of charm to the illustration. I'm just going to zoom on it in a little so you can see the beautiful texture of the line work here. Let's now create a new layer on top. We're going to set this layer to multiply, and we'll be using the same brush, but this time we'll choose this colour here. And we're going to add some horizontal lines. Have a look at the beautiful texture of this line work here. Just adds a really nice kind of retro charm to the illustration. Now we're going to add some texture to the leaves here. So let's just close this group here and open up this group here, select this layer here, create a new layer on top. Now we're going to just click on that and select clipping mask. Now I'll just quickly explain to those that don't know how clipping masks work. When we apply a clipping mask, anything that we place here on layer 11 will be contained to this shape on layer 3. For this job, we're going to use the Magic Rugged texture at size 37. The colour that we'll be using is this dark green here. Now let's apply some beautiful texture to the leaves. Now I'll just zoom in a little bit here so you can see the gorgeous texture, and we've done that literally in seconds. Just goes to show when you've got the right techniques and tools, you can get some really cool effects really quickly, and saves you a lot of time. Let's now add some gorgeous texture and patterns and colour to this side of the leaves. So let's just go here and select this layer here, create a new layer on top. For this job, we're going to use the textured pencil, size 44 or thereabouts, and the colour that we'll use is this beautiful pink colour on the right. Let's now add some textured patterns to some of the leaves. Twist it a bit so I have better control. Now you can see I'm intentionally going over the edge here. It just creates a really nice textured effect. And I like those little imperfections here and there. It gives the illustration a lot of charm. We'll apply the same to this leaf. For the next job, we will use the wet and dry brush, size 7. The colour that we will use is this colour here, second from the right. We'll select this layer here, create a new layer on top, and we'll just add a textured pattern to these two leaves here. So this is quite a nice textured brush, and it just adds this beautiful texture to our illustration. And now to this leaf. Now for something special. So we're now just going to concentrate on adding some texture to the background. So this will be quite a quick and easy job because I've got the right tools to do that here. So to start off with, let's just close this group here and select this group here, create 2 new layers, select both of these, group, rename, and I'll just call this background texture. Close this. Let's grab this group here and just pop it on top like so. Open this one, select the bottom layer here. For this job, we're going to use the fairy dust brush, and at 100%, the color that we'll use is this blue here on the bottom, first from the left. And let's just make this a little bit smaller so we can see what we're doing. And basically what we're going to do is just add 3 layers of texture. So we're just going to kind of build up the texture here. So this will be the first layer. So this one's quite easy, just go like that. And voila, we've got the first layer of texture. For the next job, we are going to use the subtle noise brush. So this one here at 100%. We will keep the same color. Just choose this layer here on top. So we're just building up this texture. So you can kind of apply that here and there just to build this texture up. Now you may not be able to see that on the camera. Doesn't always pick up details like that. I'll just zoom in case you can. And let's just make that a little bit smaller. Now let's create a new layer on top. For this job, we're going to use a special brush called the blotch tool, and size 45. We will use this darker blue here, so at the bottom, second from the left. Just make sure you've got a separate layer selected. I'll just make this a tad smaller so we can see what we're doing. And let's add some of this really cool texture here and there. So you get this really cool texture really quickly. It literally takes you seconds. Let's select the N here on that layer and select multiply. And from here, you can play around with the opacity slider. I might leave it at around 74, 70, 72%. Next, we're doing something really exciting. So for this job, I'm going to use the textured filler, size 54. Let's close this. Select this layer here, create a new layer on top. Let's go to the disc, the color disc, and we're going to select a pure white, and I'll quickly show you how to do that. Just double tap around here, that selects a pure white for you. If you'd like a pure black, just double tap around here, but I want the white. So we'll start off over here, put a lot of pressure down, and just to make a rough line like that. And when you reach the end, don't release the pencil, because you can determine where the end point will be. I want mine to be around here. And let's do the same for all the other edges. I'll just zoom in so you can see it. So we've just created this really cool border with this really nice texture in a matter of seconds. We're almost there. Just going to add one final touch, and we're just going to pop a little butterfly on this leaf here. So let's just close all these groups. Select this layer here, create two new layers on top, select both, group, rename, and I'll call this one butterfly. Select the bottom layer. The color that I'll use is this orange here. Let's use the bumpy inker for this job. Turn the sketch layer back on. I've just set the size to about size 19. We can, if you can't see this really well, you can go into the sketch layer here, select the M, and just bring the opacity right up. And now make sure we're back on this layer here. And let's fill the butterfly wings in like so. And this side. Fill this in with color. Select this layer here. Let's use the mighty pencil. Add around size 10. The color that we will use is this color here. So the fourth from the right at the top. Let's make sure we're on this top layer here, and let's finish the butterfly. So you can give the butterfly quite a kind of sketchy feel here. Create a new layer on top. Or select the color next to it, so third from the right on the top. Just going to add two little eyes and a pattern like so. Now we'll create a new layer on top. The color that we will use is this light color here, fourth from the right on the top, and we're just going to add this little pattern here like so. So that's our finished artwork. So let's just use our 4 fingers to tap on the screen like so to hide all of the toolbars. Let's just zoom in a little bit so we can admire the finished artwork. Let's zoom in here. Look at the gorgeous texture on the leaves here, with the patterns. You know, the background has this beautiful built up texture. Even the borders have got this gorgeous texture running through it. The vase. The line work on the vase has this beautiful texture through it. Thanks so much for joining me today. Isn't it amazing how a little texture and clever use of colour can completely transform a simple sketch into something so dynamic and rich? I hope you enjoyed creating this colourful vase and experimenting with bold patterns and textures. Be sure to share your artwork with me. I'd love to see how you made it your own. If you found this tutorial helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more Procreate tips and tricks, and turn on notifications so you don't miss future videos. Until next time, keep experimenting and stay creative.